I can tell you right now, there's a lot of hashtag homers in the comments about you taking a tough time to answer this question.
That I'm having what?
You're having a tough time. You're
answering what question? I just answered the question.
None of these teams can finish top 5 in any of these leagues. Where would the top 4 seeded MLS teams, Miami, Columbus, LAFC, and LA Galaxy, sit in the top 5 European leagues? Would any be able to break into a Champions League spot? Tony, go ahead. Address this.
Let's pick a league, right? I'll pick Serie A because I watch Serie A, right? Okay. And first, I don't think we finish in Champions League spot in Premier League. In
La Liga?
Serie A, La Liga, that would be tough. It would be a battle. Clearly, there's 3 teams in La Liga that finish at the top. Not in La Liga. But it wouldn't be. It'd be mid-table, somewhere for me. Mid-table to second, third of the table, if you will. Italy this year, I think Italy is there's tight race at the top, but I think because some teams haven't performed well, and they've got 5 Champions League spots. Remember, it would be tough, but they would finish in Europe. I think maybe not Champions League.
You're a homer and a half. If this is debate,
no. Not Bundesliga. No, there's too many. You're talking about Columbus,
Serie A. They're not getting into no European spot.
They got 8 European spots Atalanta, in that league.
Inter, Fiorentina, Lazio, Juve, Milan. They're not beating any of those teams.
Man, Fiorentina's had a good year this year so far. That's where they're at. And I'm not saying all 4 teams, but I'm looking at the Columbuses of the world, the LA Galaxies of the world. When you say top 4 seed, I don't know that these teams. You could say no way, but I think sometimes we don't give them. I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm trying to answer the question the way I feel it.
Let's be real.
You think this LA Galaxy team can't go and attack in Serie A?
I think this LA Galaxy team would not be able to defend the teams in the
Okay, so where would they finish 7. In Serie A for you?
13-12. Where Roma, Torino, Roma, Parma. In that 11-12.
Parma, a promoted team this year with a bunch of young players on the team? Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, I could buy that. I also think that they would fight some of those other teams that are in front of them. They don't fight with Milan. They don't fight with Inter. They don't fight with Juventus for sure.
Do you think they'd fight with Bologna?
This Bologna team, Bologna, remember, lost all their players last year.
But even this
and their manager, by the way.
Points. You know what I mean? Like even this Bologna has only 2 losses in Serie A. Out of 14 matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think this year Serie A for me. I said this to Marco the other day, and I think there are some teams that just have not performed well, man. They just haven't, and that's why for me it's so tight. Not because it can't be that all the teams are great, and that's why they're 2 points away. Sometimes because they're not performing great.
And what
you got a second place team with 3 losses after 13 games already, right?
What is the top 5? Is that Liga? Is that the 5th league? Would you say of the best 5s? So you have EPL,
is that who we're thinking?
Bundesliga. I would say but
there are Portugal, right? There are Portugal. I would think.
Well, PSG, Monaco, Marseille, Lille, Nice, Lyon are the top 6 right now, right? And then you have even Brest, who's 12th, is doing extremely well in Champions League. So
they're in good run in Champions League.
For me, League One is the 5th best league in Europe, and I don't see the Galaxy or Columbus or Inter Miami even scratching the top 7 or 6. Sorry, in that league.
So you're telling me like in Serie A, you're telling me like Empoli, Udinese, they can't beat these teams. Bologna, they can't beat any of those teams. I think you're crazy. If you don't think,
I think they could beat these teams, but we're talking about a season. They would not finish top 6, or they wouldn't finish top 8 in Serie A. Any of these teams.
I would think LA could compete. They need to be deeper. Look, our rosters are completely different. Like they need to be deeper, in their roster. But as far as going
that's a
there and
big
playing
issue.
with these teams, yeah, of course it is. I mean, that's our issue. I mean, how many players come here and talk about managers? I mean, how many times have we heard Steve Cherundolo say, "We play all these games, we don't have enough players. Our players are dying here," and they get to finals and semifinals all the time, and you feel like they're running out of gas. So yeah, look,
we can even see the comments, Tony, and because this is taped, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of hashtag homers in the comments about you taking a tough time to answer this question.
That I'm having what?
You're having a tough time. You're
answering what question? I just answered the question.
None of these teams can finish top 5 in any of these leagues.
Okay, I mean, top 5, yeah. Look, it'd be tough. I don't think that Columbus would be that far off if you give them a couple, depth players. I don't think LA Galaxy would be that far off.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, not. And I told you, not in La Liga, not in the Premier League for sure. But Liga, I think, is a tough league. I think Liga is weighted at the top and a little bit lesser at the bottom. How about the Eredivisie?
Yeah, I think they could. That one,
yeah.
Outside of the Ajaxes and your PSVs and your Feyenoord, and maybe Twente, Alkmaar, right? 4 or 5 there. LA Galaxy and Columbus Crew, they're competing there.
Yeah. So what are they in your mind? The 6th league, 7th league in Europe? I mean, I think we're discounting Portugal because Portugal is a good league.
But also very top heavy. I mean,
100%.
I'll give you 5 teams, and the rest is a big drop off. After Braga, because you got Sporting, Porto, Lisbon, Sporting, Porto, Benfica, Braga. What are you doing?
Yeah.
After that, huge.
I think if we put some depth in these rosters, I don't think they're as far off as you think they are. Again, we don't compete with Man City and Arsenal and those teams. I understand, but I don't think we're that far off from those teams. That's just my opinion. I get it.
Yeah.
You don't believe me. Clearly, you don't buy it. But yeah, but that's fine. That's fine with me. I'm a homer. Listen, I'm the last homer in the world for MLS. I've not had an MLS job my entire life. I don't know anything to them or them to me. It's not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I believe you.
No, you don't know. Clearly, you don't.